Hi, this is Dave from Garden Gnomes. I want to go over some other things that I had bought from a lot of my suppliers. Bought close to $10,000 worth of stuff just to show you how to use them. I like to personally use them. I'm setting up some different types of display gardens just to show you how to use them when I get a chance to get out in the yard. But this is one of the things from Universal Rocks, and when I went to buy a lot of his stuff, he says, Dave, how about some of my bubbling rocks? And I always was intrigued with them because they look pretty cool. This here is the gray, the Arizona gray, and of course they come, no, it's the American gray. They come with Arizona brown and stuff. So this one here is one of their newer ones. A lot of them can be accent rocks or bubbler. This one here, they kind of consider it a bubbling accent rock. You can, to me, it doesn't matter. It can have water or no water, but this here, you can see where it's made. It's very rigid. Here's the 1-inch inlet. It comes up through. And for some of you guys, you're kind of wondering, these here were from rock formations. That's why it looks kind of real. I mean, it does look real, but when you want to kind of figure out the weight of a rock, you take, and this here, I'm not going to go from this point to this point. I'm going to try to make it like more of where it would be. It's 14 by 14, so I'm not going from the longest point of 19. So we got a rock that's basically 14 by 14. I'm going to skip this and kind of estimate it from where this goes, and that should give me the weight of the rock. So this is just an estimate from a place I found on Google. So with it being 14 by 14 by 7 inches high, we got a weight of about 133 pounds. So that's a pretty good size rock where you're going to have a struggle trying to lift this. So going back to the water garden, sometimes you don't really need to have the big flashy type of waterfalls and ponds and stuff. Sometimes you just want a cool looking rock where you can have some water cascading over it. And when you look at this, you would need some type of a basin for it. And you're thinking, well, what's a basin? A basin's anything that can contain enough water in a pump just to continually have water. This here I just picked up from a Home Depot. I carry basins on there, but sometimes you can get away with cheap stuff. This here I would dig into the ground, put it in pretty much to the level. You can see there's a dip here. I'd probably put a couple holes here. This rock can successfully go on top where it's not going to smash it in. And then I would take an EPDM liner and just go probably a foot around the whole thing with it to where the water would just funnel back in. Then you can fill around it, because this here, it would look more realistic if you had rocks and gravel and your fancy stuff going around it. So just remember, water basins, anything you want that contains enough water for your feature. Now, some of your heavier stuff you can't get away with a cheapy Walmart thing. Now here's another thing I want to show you with these cool design. We're going to just, for today, we're going to hopefully get it where the water doesn't leak out. I'm going to pour the water, and you gotta, something like this anyway. A while back I had a video on these real cool little foggers, and this is an excellent place to use a fogger. We would put it into the water like this, and you know what, probably in time I can drill a hole and hide this, but again, this almost looks like a volcano. You have this set up, and with this here we can change the different lights. So in other words, if you wanted to, it would almost look like a volcano with the fire coming out. Let me turn the lights down where you can see this. It's better to do it inside where it's more controlled, but this is what I kind of thought would really set this apart in a water garden. And of course, you would see the water come up, and it's going to cascade more toward this here than here, and of course you're going to have some bubbling from the water coming up. So if you're using something like this, this would look good probably in your flower bed right at the front of the house where it gets the big, you know, centerpiece attraction. You can put some different types of plants, maybe some gnomes, and I would do 3 of these. I mean, not to say you couldn't get away with 1, but 3 different types of these. Maybe you want a couple that bubble, some of them that light. I showed you guys how to use the little egg light kits. You can have them sit on the side and have them glance off the rock. There's all kinds of different things, but to me, I think this is real cool for people who don't want to invest a lot of time or money into a cool water garden. So that's all I have. And this one here is the bubbling rock. I think it's the it's listed as a BAR-029, but it's a small decorative rock. So just in case you're interested in something to this effect, this is pretty cool. And again, if you don't care for the real effects of the orange and the yellow, there again you can set this fogger, which is cool as heck, coming out of a rock. But you can have the red, the blue. We added some yellow. Not sure what it did there, but it did do something. If you want to just have the orange, okay, here we got the combination of the different lights. So, you know what, sometimes when you're doing this stuff, it's more of a magical effect, whimsical if you want to put the garden gnomes, fantasy. So who cares if it's shining up blue, and when this light goes, it just cascades or shines off the whole entire rim of the rock. So, just wanted to show you guys creativity in the garden. And it doesn't need to be a very expensive water feature here. I don't like water feature. I like the water garden. Water feature seems like it's cheap. So we're going to call it part of a water garden. And you can work around it with your plants, your lighting, maybe some of your statues that you made from Garden Gnomes Etc. But there it is, just something for you to give yourself a little creativity with some of these bubbling rocks. And this one here, with it being cut out, it allows you to use this cool little fogger, where some of the other ones, they come up and the bubbling effect is on the top, and you're not going to be able to do something like this. But this is pretty cool, and it's pretty inexpensive too. So that's it for today.